Another Bodgit and Leggit video with a 2006 Vauxhall Mariva. Now, this had, as you can mostly see from the rocker cover, an engine. Now, unfortunately, it was only a couple of weeks ago, apparently. They broke down just before Christmas. They broke down another town, and they got an engine for it. And they're having problems with this engine. Now, before I start it, there's a couple of things we need to know. I'm not blaming anybody, because at the end of the day, a second-hand engine is a second-hand engine. It's always a risk. I hate putting engines into people's cars, because anything goes wrong with it, they'll blame the person that's fitted it, which is really unfair. But that's just the way the world works. Now, they're having problems starting in the morning. They're saying it's overheating, and yeah, that's kind of the issues they were having with the other engine. Now, I do see a couple of things, obviously all the writing on top. I've also noticed that in the inlet manifold, or sorry, the exhaust manifold, there's lock nuts on every single one of the bolts. Now, that's just not the way to do it, people, because that plastic heats and melts, and yeah, just... Anyway, we're going to see if we can solve the problem, but I don't think I really have to go too far into this, because I'll show you why. I can't get this off. I don't know why that's... Are you ready? Yeah. Right, this engine is now cold. Let's see if it has problems starting. Wow! I can't believe what I am seeing. You see that? A temperature gauge in a Vauxhall? Wow. I mean, that is just amazeballs. Look at that temperature gauge. Haven't seen one of them in one of these for a while. Right, it's in neutral. Let's see if it's hard to start. Turn the radio off, and let's see. Didn't sound great, but it's not hard to start. Damn. Do you know what I'm going to do here, even though... She did complain that it was really hard to start in the morning. No, I think that's just because it's pumping water into the cylinders. But for the hell of it, because it's easy, I'm going to get out the relative compression tester, and we're going to see what it says. Now, I'm not saying it does have a compression problem. It sounded a little bit compression-y problem, but I don't think so, because it's really a quick and easy test, especially with this iScope. I've done a video review on this. We're just going to quickly do voltage, unsynced, 4 cylinders. Oh, and let's just go to start. Oh, what I've got to do first is, which I haven't done, is stop it from starting. So we stopped it from starting. Throttle fully open. Let's just go to start. Stop cranking.
How gentle he was.
Boom! How quick is that? And 70%. Oh, we get the glare off that. Hold on. 70% on cylinder 2, which is very low. So we know the head gasket is a potential problem, depending on how the head gasket is gone. But 70% cylinder 1, well, we don't know if it's cylinder 2, so I haven't synced it. One of the cylinders is down. Can we just get the glare? Now you can see the numbers. 100% on A, 70% on B, 92 on C, 92 on C, on D, sorry. So we potentially have a low compression on one of our cylinders. So what I'm going to do next is show you a couple of more tests you can do, just to see potentially, you know, if you've got a head gasket, or, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a head gasket, it could be a cracked head, cracked blocked, something along them lines. But when you have a problem with your engine, whether it's head gasket related, always remember there's cause and effect. You have to think, why did the head gasket go? Don't just put a new engine in your car, because if your radiator's burst, if your fan isn't working on your radiator or something along them lines, then, you know, give it, again, depending on how you drive the car, a couple of weeks, couple of months, and you're going to have the same issue again. So when you put an engine in the car because of a head gasket or because of a compression, or well, not so much compression, but head gasket related. Now I know this is a Vauxhall, so you could say, okay, fair enough, it's a Vauxhall, but it's always good, you know, is your radiator blocked? Is your fan working? You know, check these things, because blocked radiators and stuff like that is only going to damage the engine, the new engine you put in. So, you know, cause and effect, people. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this now, and we're going to do a few simple checks. For example, you can actually press your radiator hose pipes and see if they're nice and soft and supple when the engine is running. If these are rock hard when the engine is running, it normally can indicate that you've got a head gasket problem. Again, I'm just going to show you some simple checks. Obviously, that's another simple check. The fact that they're losing water, now look at that, the pressure that was on that already. This car hasn't been started in about 2 hours, and listen to that pressure that was in there. And that water is kind of a rusty colour. Now, what can also happen if it's really bad is you can actually get exhaust gas blowing to the point of where it's actually blowing everything out. We've got a special tester which we will put on there to see if we can get any exhaust gas through it. So we're going to start this and we're going to see what happens. Right, let's just start this. Oh, there we go. That was oh, it's hard to start now. Oh, okay. Come on. Oh, she's missing. Missing badly. Very, very badly. Now, I had the injectors disconnected, so no, it wasn't a load of fuel dumped in the cylinders before anyone tries to be clever. That's missing. Oh look, a temperature gauge, did I mention that? We had a temperature gauge in a Vauxhall. That's just like amazeballs. Now, just other things I notice when I look at someone's car, because this is what you have to do, unfortunately, when you have a garage. This car didn't come in for this problem, but look how bad them brakes are. I mean, the other side is even worse. I'm going to obviously have to tell the customer, look, your brakes are really bad too, you know. Even though it didn't come in for this, and some people think, oh, he's trying to screw me, my car came in for something, and he's now telling me my brakes are bad. Your brakes are bad. These people have kids in this car, and going around with brakes like that is just shocking, ridiculous, just, yeah, words fail me. Careful, because again, like I said, the car hasn't come in for this problem, but you can see what I mean by the brakes. And one thing I do want to get clear is I'm not blaming the other shop garage who did this engine, because at the end of the day it's a second-hand engine. That's why I said I hate doing engines, because anything happens, the customer is going to blame the person that fitted the engine. This engine could have been more or less on its way out, and it's just lasted a couple of weeks. It's just one of them things. It's a nightmare. I always tell people, when I put a second-hand engine in, look, it's a second-hand engine. You know, if you want me to do it, I'll do it, but don't come crying to me if it, you know, blows up in a couple of weeks, couple of months, whatever the case may be. Right, let's get in here. Already, that, yeah, I mean, that is hard. I can feel pressure already coming up in there. Not going to really come through on camera properly, but the engine doesn't sound great. Wow. Look at that. It's only been on for a second. Did you see all that? Now that's airlocked. Well, not necessarily, depending on how the head gasket's gone. I think the head gasket, look at the bubbles that's coming up through there. All that pressure when this cap is on is just going through the engine, and you can see that. Now if it was just that and none of these other problems, I would say okay, it's maybe just airlock, but the fact that we've got mayonnaise in here Oh, look at that blow by. Wow. You can't feel that obviously, but that is way too much. See if that dances, yeah. Yeah, there's a head gasket issue with this. So like I said, we can just go through a few simple checks so you know what to check for, but that is just way too much. You can hear it. And you can, I don't know if the camera's picking up, but you can see kind of smoke coming out. That's not smoke, that's actually water burning. And I bet this pipe's getting, yeah, this pipe's getting hot. Let it heat up a little bit more. Okay, and another thing that suggests head gaskets is when you come to the back of it, this engine isn't heated up, it's only been on for a couple of minutes, and look at the smoke pouring out already. Not good. You see in the mirror, I'm just revving this up, and look at that. Look how much smoke is coming out of there. It's just filling up my whole yard. And as you can see, the engine isn't even heated up. Yeah, not good. So we've got kind of one more test to do, even though, believe me, at this stage I wouldn't be doing this last test. I'm just showing you a couple of pointers to look for when your head gasket is gone. Careful opening this, because especially when it's hot, this will burn the crap out of you. But as you can see, it's only been on 2 minutes, and look at that already, and all that pressure that's in there. I might not even be able to do this sniffer test. It depends. I need to get the engine hot so I can get the smoke and the steam coming up through it. We're going to see what we can do. But yeah, new engine, no good unfortunately. This is another test you can do. Normally you do this when the engine is heated up and when you kind of see smoke and steam rising from here, but I think this one's this bad, we should be able to get away with doing it this way. You can see the liquid is blue. Now depending which ones you get, they can turn a different colour, but if this turns green, you know your head gasket's gone. Now they can turn different shades of green, and I've seen sometimes just a bubble turning green, which kind of suggests it's on its way. But let's just see if we're getting enough of the already. You can see it changing. Yeah, look at that. Boom. And this engine isn't even heated up. Look how quick that is changing. Now the fan's kicked in. Look at that. Yeah, that's how quick that changed. Yeah, actually. Wow. Look how quick that overheated, literally in a couple of minutes. Oh look, a temperature gauge in a Vauxhall. Wow. I mean, to be honest, I think I know the reason why they don't put temperature gauges in Vauxhall, because it will always be on the red. But wow, a temperature gauge in a Vauxhall. A temperature gauge in a Vauxhall, but not only that, why couldn't they just use this fucking dash in all the other ones? I don't know. Right, that's as green as you're gonna get. Now if I actually put this to the air, this will actually turn blue again. But you don't reuse the liquid. Once it's turned, just leave it. So that's it. That's really a couple of tips on what to look for when a head gasket's gone. I don't think I'll be doing this job, because obviously the other garage that they actually originally got it from only a few weeks ago is going to be looking after this engine. I would say if he can get some kind of guarantee off the people he brought it. Sometimes I can get a 30-day guarantee on an engine, depending on who I buy it from. It just depends on the actual scrapyard. Sometimes you don't get any guarantees, and it's one of them situations where it's not the customer's fault, it's not the garage's fault, and not necessarily the scrapyard's fault, because at the end of the day, you know, this could be on its way out. When they start it and it comes in, it could be absolutely fine. You know, it's maybe taken 2 or 3 weeks to actually do this. You don't know how the customer's been driving for 2 or 3 weeks. You know, there's a lot that potentially could be the problem. You see, this is turning back now to blue. Eventually this will turn back to blue. You just see that it's changing green now when it sucks in the air. So yeah, look, there's loads of potential issues. This is why, like I said, I hate doing engines. It's just we're going blue now again. You can see that. There we go. We're going back now to blue. Still kind of green, but we are turning back to blue. So that's a few things on to check a head gasket. This kind of has every single symptom you can think of. Mayonnaise in here, pressure building up here, white smoke, hard to start, doesn't sound particularly great. Down on compression, but again, that just depends on how the head gasket is gone, so I really wouldn't take that too much to heart. But again, it's a good test you can do. And that's it. So look, hope it helps. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down be there, down be there. Oh, did I also mention this has a temperature gauge? Big floppy donkey dick. Don't know why I said that. Anyway, so there we go, people. Don't forget, please check out my Patreon, Facebook, Instagram and all that. But most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.